There's a quiet mistake happening in gardens all over the world, and honestly, most people never connect it to the disappointing harvests they keep getting. You follow the advice, use natural inputs, avoid chemicals, and still, something just feels off. Growth is uneven, leaves lose their color and, well, yields don't match the effort you're putting in. One of the most overlooked culprits sits right in plain sight: wood ash. It's been praised for generations as a natural soil booster, yet when used the wrong way, it can slowly work against everything you're trying to build. The truth is, the difference between thriving soil and struggling plants often comes down to one simple shift in how you prepare what you add. And once you understand this, it changes the way you approach not just ash, but every input in your garden. Before we go further, if you value practical, experience-driven gardening that actually works, take a second to like this video, share it with someone serious about growing better food, drop a comment with your experience, and subscribe to Nature's Flora so you don't miss what's coming next. Wood ash looks harmless. It's natural, it comes from burned wood, and it's rich in potassium and calcium. On paper it sounds like exactly what your soil needs, but the problem lies in how it behaves once it hits the ground. Fresh ash is highly alkaline. When applied directly, it can spike your soil's pH very quickly. Most plants thrive in slightly acidic to neutral conditions, and when that balance shifts too far toward alkalinity, essential nutrients become locked away. Nitrogen becomes harder to access, phosphorus availability drops, and micronutrients like iron become less available. The result is a garden that looks underfed even when nutrients are technically present. It doesn't stop there. Soil is alive, and sudden chemical changes disrupt microbial life. These microbes are responsible for breaking down organic matter and making nutrients usable. When their environment shifts too fast, their activity slows down. That's when your soil starts losing its resilience. The key isn't avoiding wood ash. It's understanding that raw materials are rarely ready for immediate use. Just like compost transforms kitchen scraps into stable organic matter, ash also benefits from processing. When you begin to treat ash as an ingredient rather than a finished product, everything changes. Instead of dumping it into your soil and hoping for the best, you prepare it in a way that stabilizes its impact and makes it easier for your soil ecosystem to handle. This is where fermentation becomes powerful. Fermenting wood ash changes its behavior entirely. Instead of acting as a harsh alkaline shock, it becomes a more balanced, microbially active solution that works with your soil instead of against it. The process is simple, but incredibly effective. When ash is mixed with water, a small sugar source like molasses, and a microbial starter such as compost or compost tea, it begins to undergo a biological transformation. Over a few days, beneficial microbes start interacting with the minerals in the ash. This stabilizes the nutrients and reduces the intensity of the alkalinity. By the time the mixture develops a slightly sour smell, it has shifted from a raw mineral input into something much more usable. The nutrients are more accessible and the microbial presence helps integrate them smoothly into the soil. Traditional fertilizing relies on the soil to do all the processing. That takes time, and it depends heavily on the existing health of your soil. If microbial life is already weak, the process becomes even slower and less efficient. Fermented ash skips that delay. It arrives pre-processed with nutrients already in a more available form and microbes ready to go to work immediately. That's why gardeners who use this method often notice faster responses. Leaves deepen in color, growth becomes more consistent, and plants show fewer signs of nutrient stress. It's not about forcing growth, it's about removing the barriers that prevent plants from accessing what's already there. This is where many people go wrong, even after preparing it correctly. More is not better. Fermented ash is concentrated, and it works best when used strategically. Dilution is essential. Mixing the fermented solution with water before application ensures that it integrates smoothly into the soil. Applying it around the root zone rather than directly on leaves allows plants to absorb nutrients where they need them most. Frequency matters just as much as quantity. Applying it every couple of weeks is more than enough to see results. Overuse can still shift soil balance over time, even in its fermented form. Observation becomes your best tool. Healthy plants will show you when the balance is right. Strong growth, rich color, and consistent development are clear signs that your soil is responding well. The real power of this method shows up when it's combined with other soil-building practices. When you pair fermented ash with buried organic matter, something bigger starts to happen. Organic matter feeds microbes and improves soil structure, while the fermented ash provides minerals in a form that's easy to use. Together, they create a system where biology and nutrients support each other. Over time, the soil becomes looser, darker, and more alive. Water retention improves, earthworms become more active, and the need for constant input starts to decrease. That's when you know your garden is becoming self-sustaining. This isn't just about wood ash, it's about a shift in thinking. The question is no longer what should I add to my soil, but how should I prepare what I add. That single change separates inconsistent results from reliable success. Prepared inputs reduce shock, improve efficiency, and support the living system beneath your plants. Once you start applying this principle across everything you use, from compost to natural fertilizers, your results become more predictable and far more rewarding. Good gardening isn't about chasing every new tip or trend, it's about understanding the relationship between soil, microbes, and plants. Wood ash can either damage that relationship or strengthen it, depending entirely on how you use it. Start small, test this method on a section of your garden, and pay attention to the difference over time. That's how real knowledge is built. If you found this valuable, make sure you subscribe to Nature's Flora. Share this with someone who's serious about improving their soil, and stay tuned for more practical, results-driven techniques that actually make a difference.